Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. As with the rest of the cryptocurrency and economic world, we will be discussing Ripple and XRP today. So, without further ado, let's get started. To begin, let's focus on the two of us. In a tweet published yesterday, I predicted that the next decade would be known as the decade of crypto, during which time the industry will undergo radical shifts that would shake it to its foundations. This technology will revolutionize and upend every facet of human existence. Not convinced? That's okay. You need not do so. You can put your trust in organizations like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Citi, SWIFT, DTCC, the World Economic Forum, the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, etc. The new global system is being created on the foundation of crypto. And if you think it's a coincidence that every major global organization, financial institution, etc., is discussing it, you're wrong. Those who have been skeptical of this technology for a long time will soon be using it around the clock. The rails of tomorrow that run everything will be digital. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution. Because of this, I spread my investments over a number of other cryptocurrencies, including XRP, that I believe will be of use in the world of the future. There are several promising prospects in this area. And yeah, one thing that I've been really kind of adamant about with a lot of my tweets recently is getting the idea across to the general public on just how big of a fundamental change we are about to see, how every single major event up to now has been paving the way full charge ahead for the advent of the fourth industrial revolution. We have been discussing this revolution for some time now. And I do notice a lot of comments out there from the retail industry. It's sort of funny, that's always the retail sector, not the institutions who are moaning. The retail industry, however, has long wondered when everything would finally click into place. I'm sick of hearing about the price of XRP being this, that, and the other thing. The most important fact is that institutions don't give a hoot whether XRP is valued at 50 cents or $5. Okay, they appreciate that this is not the dollar, but rather technology, basic technology that has the potential to alter the way that value is transferred and settled. Moreover, it would be impossible to put a low price on this entire room. Unfortunately, we are still so damn early in the process that full implementation of rules is necessary before all the garbage that is, to put it mildly, overwhelming the system around crypto can be eliminated. That, I believe, is a world in which practicality is at last receiving the attention it deserves. And that's when the XRP haters finally shut up, in my opinion. Moreover, I believe that we are beginning to see this will soon be major fans of XRP because they will finally see the value behind it and why, many people in the community have been talking about higher price targets for XRP and higher valuations and why XRP demands a higher value on it. Within this context, I would also like to discuss the transition with you. Because, hear me out, a profound change is on the horizon. And I absolutely think the value internet is where it's at. A significant proponent of, forever, that Ripple has been. Experts in the financial industry predict that tokenization will have far-reaching consequences for markets for everything from equities and bonds to carbon trading and real estate derivatives. And pay attention as we investigate several of these markets and the valuations of assets like stocks, bonds, and real estate. The global market for stocks is $100 trillion. The worldwide market for real estate is worth more than $300 trillion, while the theoretical value of the derivatives market is more than $600 trillion. Even if they don't come to the same conclusion that this is going to be a huge event as I think that at this point most people can. However, I get the impression that most people in this market are still focused mostly on the near term. That is, if we take a step back and look at the big picture, we can begin to see what's going on. There is $1 trillion market for this, Add together all the tokens and you get that total. When you consider the markets and values that this technology is displacing, how can you argue that we aren't at the cutting edge? As a market, why do we continue to focus on the near term? Why do we continue to fret over XRP's future value in a year? Instead of saying, okay, well, let's go look at Amazon stock, we're saying something else. You know, in 1999, where was Amazon stock? And then, in 2019, it vanished. Analyze the difference in price between the two. The passage of time will astound you. Tokenization is another major development. Right. Rose XRP shared some of the data from this comprehensive analysis. As for the $50 billion total DeFi market cap in February 2023, the figures don't lie, and neither does XRP's position at the equation's epicenter. In the spotlight, XRP. What does the path of a tokenized asset's lifecycle look like when we examine concepts like the token lifecycle in the Internet of Value? To begin, we'll tokenize 80% of the data. Tokenized assets like as equities and bonds, real estate derivatives, and carbon markets are currently valued at $18 billion, and industry executives believe tokenization will have a significant impact on these markets. We have barely begun to scrape the surface. The token's administration enables its use in a trading environment, ownership transfer, payment, borrowing, etc. 66% of CFOs say their companies have already begun using blockchain solutions for finance to trade, borrow, or lend tokenized versions of actual assets, which can then be used as a kind of digital currency and transferred instantly anywhere in the globe. 24/7/365 $250 trillion in value of yearly cross-border payments forecasted by 2027. 66% of company finance leaders are aware with using blockchain solutions for finance to trade, borrow, or lend tokenized real-world assets like that is a big issue, but when we look at everything, the values behind a lot of these tokens are only scraping the surface. And then there's the projected worth of $250 trillion by 2027. I predict that the adoption and use of these tokens will undergo a dramatic change during the next 4 years. Actually, I do. Okay, then. The XRP ledger is just one example of the many things we've seen recently. In fact, I just released a video in which I discussed the XRP ledger. In addition, we had a brief discussion about why it's crucial to pay attention to the ledger independently of Ripple's actions. In addition, I appreciate the significance of Ripple's work. Not only does what Ripple is attempting to achieve with XRP revolve on tokenization, but the XRP ledger itself has so many big use cases that are looking at tokenization, that are looking at, simplifying, payments and payment technologies. And XRP can also be used for international transactions. Wow, that's significant. However, money management must also be considered. The current treasury management system has to be overhauled immediately. The on-demand liquidity is the main topic of this comprehensive research. You keep reading, and in the very first paragraph you learn that the current state of international money transfers is sluggish, disjointed, and begging for change. Is the estimated market for educational costs to be $50 trillion? I've already addressed this issue before. XRP, like all of these other wonderful utility tokens, will see high demand. However, I anticipate far higher demand for XRP than for some of these other tokens due to its longer history in the cryptocurrency market. Since the beginning, sales have focused on large corporations. It's real, it's now, and it has the muscle and potential to upend the world's monetary system. Keep it in mind. Consider the scope of that. Amazon stock is worth the current market price. Because Amazon has changed the way we shop forever. Observe, this is online shopping. It's a behemoth of the online retail industry. Do I have that right? Internet purchasing. And that's why it's worth that much. What we're discussing here is something that is revolutionizing the most fundamental aspects of how value is transferred and settled. Manner. Absolutely monumental. The international money transfer market is likewise disjointed and open to new ideas. Financial organizations that oversee international capital flows have a unique understanding of globalization and its consequences. Management that is in tune with the needs of the business and the global political climate requires the use of first-rate payment services. Getting money where it needs to go at the correct moment is time-sensitive. For many of the world's largest banks and financial services providers, it can take days for funds to settle on legacy international payment rails, and there isn't enough transparency for businesses to accurately estimate treasury flows using this method. Today, treasury flows are also a major source of revenue. Okay, then. The emphasis is on XRP this year. Picture a world where companies are using XRP to fuel their growth with instantaneous liquidity. Picture Amazon adopting XRP on a massive scale. Right? It's possible that this might occur. I'm not suggesting this will happen, but think about a world where digital assets are used to support traditional enterprises because of the efficiency they bring. In order to keep up with consumer demand, the payments industry needs reliable worldwide payment rails and ready access to operating cash. Modern liquidity solutions like liquidity use digital assets like XRP to provide fast settlement and lessen the requirement for pre-funded accounts and destination marketplaces. Furthermore, within this, we have a plethora of fantastic options for organizations, like cost optimization, superior technology, a trustworthy partner, and the streamlined global payments and we have all the solutions there. Looking at it this way, it's important to highlight all of this because Ripple is now a worldwide system. We know that they participate in 90% of the daily $7.5 trillion foreign exchange market. Over the past few years, they've had tremendous growth. Although the SEC action had some unfavorable consequences, I believe it also had some extremely beneficial consequences for Ripple's international expansion. They were able to network with some of the world's largest companies, banks, governments, and nations. Moreover, if we consider that wave as a much more extensive global market, or global network, today, we find that it accounts for a sizable chunk of the global market as a whole. That's a really crucial detail to remember. The reason why is not because Ripple is adding worth to XRP. But I don't think that's true in terms of where our attention should be put. However, I am concentrating on the possibility presented by XRP's access to 90% of the FX market. Because if we manage to streamline the FX market, we're talking about a daily trading volume of $7.5 trillion. But then you mix it with tokenization, which is beyond what we're seeing here. When you consider that you also have access to the complete XRP ledger, the implications become clear. And then we explore how blockchain can be used to make investments and withdrawals instantly. First, they discussed the international money transfer system. On the other hand, we can see that as recently as October of 2022, research was still being undertaken and large-scale government efforts like the G20 were still being defined to solve the difficulties of the present cross-border payments landscape, especially in the areas of speed, cost, and transparency. Nevertheless, development has been gradual despite these initiatives, and the vast bulk of international payments are still fairly opaque. According to a March 2023 IMF report, financial institutions who embrace solutions like Ripple's real-time settlement and increased payments transparency give them an unrivaled competitive advantage. Ripple's payment system is also mentioned, and it also provides optimum liquidity for international transfers, including those made through difficult corridors. Do you guys notice anything particularly intriguing? India, Brazil. They also have substantial ties to many of the BRICS countries. That's something we've discussed. However, many of these fields are enormous, and I hope that you can see why I put so much emphasis on the long term. Many observers wonder why XRP's price isn't rocketing higher right now, given that we're still in a Bitcoin-driven market. What a pain it is to be confined here. Even while you're aware of the current state of affairs in the industry and the significance of the underlying technology, your foundation is still Bitcoin, which is not Bitcoin, is not Santa's choice, and will not cause a disruption in the global payment flow. We're well aware that XRP isn't Bitcoin, but isn't it hilarious that, despite Bitcoin's over $1 trillion market size during its last significant run-up, most people still look at XRP and believe that it can't exceed $1 trillion in market cap? Because of this, I tend to think in the long run. It took Bitcoin nearly a decade to reach a market cap of $1 trillion, while XRP has been actively suppressed. It hasn't hit a new record high in over 2,000 days. Okay. Big changes are on the horizon, and we should expect utility-driven markets once one emerges. Right now, I can tell you that I don't think anyone is talking about price action because I'm confident that XRP's global adoption and adoption in the retail sector will lead to significant value rise. That being said, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like and subscribe to the video's alerts. See you later, bye.